Rasha El Hassan likes being outdoors, but here she doesn't leave the house with her kids much. And no wonder. In winter here, temperatures often fall to minus 20 degrees Celsius or lower, and the daylight is brief. The cold quickly numbs her to the bone, but she looks at the positive side.
We didn't ever have cold like this in Syria. It's kind of nice. Back home, we sometimes wished that it would snow.
Rasha's son Isa, on the other hand, just can't seem to get enough winter. He's learned to love sledding.
I don't think it's cold. Sometimes I go sledding for hours, but at night it gets really cold. My hands freeze.
A few months ago, around 600 refugees ended up here, at the Riksgränsen ski resort in Lapland, 200 kilometers north of the Arctic Circle. The icy northern reaches of Scandinavia are arguably Europe's last great wilderness. In the depths of winter, the sun doesn't rise at all here. It's a world of ice and snow, an environment that's breathtaking yet inhospitable. The settlement is made up of a huddle of vacation homes, a hotel, and a supermarket. There's nothing else here. The skiing season only gets going when the days grow a little lighter. So why not open the hotel to asylum seekers until then? That's what manager Sven Kultkepp thought, little guessing that just a few days later he would be hosting 600 people from 23 different countries. The Swedish government pays around 35 euros per day per person, just enough to cover costs. But Kultkepp isn't interested in profiting from the situation. In the 4 months since they've arrived, the refugees have come to regard him as a father figure. He looks after everyone and everything.
You could see in their eyes that they were, I don't know, traumatized or so one way sad, one way very glad as well. And the development there, I think, has been very good. I mean, I see happy eyes now.
And the refugees are also helping themselves. Shahad Kiani from Iran is a Taekwondo teacher. Now she gives classes to children from Syria and Afghanistan. Her husband, Mehrdad, helps out. Their relationship had no chance in Shahad's home country.
I left Iran and applied for asylum in Sweden because I had married an Afghan. In Iran, my husband would never have been given the opportunity to study, and he never would have been able to find decent work.
Now the first refugees are being moved to new quarters in order to free up rooms for the skiers arriving in the next few weeks. Sweden is struggling to house the 160,000 people who have fled there. Authorities have tightened regulations. But residency restrictions for refugees, which some politicians are calling for in Germany, won't be happening in Sweden.
Those who have already had their asylum applications approved can go stay with friends and family members who already live here, mostly in Sweden's big cities.
But there are still long waiting times. The immigration office is understaffed. Processing is slow. Rasha desperately wants to take Swedish language courses and then begin training to become a cook. She wants to stay here, far away from the horrors of the self-styled Islamic State.
We lived under IS rule for 2.5 years in Raqqa. They confiscated all my father's assets. I went to court, and that's why they came after me.
As the cold and dark winter drags on, so does the wait for official paperwork. Everyone here tries to cope as best they can. Some try to just stay as active as possible. Rasha's oldest son, Mohammed, tries to help out where he can. Her daughter, Ritak, loves the makeshift school. We're not allowed to film here, but she tells us about her classes.
I don't know the Swedish alphabet. I haven't learned it yet. But they gave us books, and they help us write. What is that? This is a lamp.
The only link with the outside world is a supermarket 5 minutes away. It's a completely foreign world, and most things here are barely affordable for the asylum seekers.
We didn't have time to prepare anything, so it was like to adjust, but it went great, and the people are so grateful to be here, to have somewhere to live.
The next morning, after 4 months of waiting, the first buses leave Riksgränsen. They're heading to Haparanda, near the border with Finland. Once again, it means saying farewell, and it's another journey into the unknown. But this time, they take their memories of Riksgränsen with them, a place in a desert of ice and snow.